All right, so all NHL round two game twos have been complete. And I mean, these games were really exciting. And here's, I mean, all of them were decided by one goal. All of them, which is kind of crazy. All four of them were decided by one goal, and two of them went into overtime. So pretty interesting. Let's get into it. The first one, the Islanders tie up the series with a 4-3 overtime victory over the Bruins. I think this series might be pretty exciting. Obviously, the Islanders came close to the Stanley Cup last year. And obviously the Bruins made it 2 years ago. So, two teams with a lot of playoff experience. Charlie Coyle scored first for the Bruins, 17 minutes left in the first. Not much scoring in the first. I mean, that was the only goal. Josh Bailey tied the game up for the Islanders. They had a pretty good sense of urgency in this game. I mean, obviously you don't want to go down 2-0, even if you are heading back to your own home arena. So Kyle Palmieri scored with 9 minutes left in the second, 2-1 at this point. He's been really good this playoffs. I've talked about that a lot. Jean-Gabriel Pageau scored, making it 3-1 Islanders, a pretty commanding lead. But we go to the third, where the Bruins made it interesting. Patrice Bergeron scored for them with 9.5 minutes left in the third, 3-2 at this point in the game. And they tied it up with a Brad Marchand's goal about 5 minutes left in the third. So 3-3, and we head to overtime. A lot of good saves from Tuukka Rask to finish the game off. Obviously, he didn't want to lose the game in regulation, but they did lose in overtime. Casey Kazika scored for the Islanders on just a clear breakaway. No one's going to get to him. Scoring on Tuukka Rask to win the game, and there was 5 minutes left in overtime. So there you go. Tied up series. Pretty interesting. I think it's going pretty well. And yeah, pretty interesting to see. So the next game, obviously, also decided by one goal. The Lightning take a 2-0 series lead on the Carolina Hurricanes with a 2-1 victory in Carolina, and they're heading back to Tampa Bay. So, that's where you want to be in that series. There actually be no goals in the first period. Pretty low scoring game, but Alex Killorn scored for the Lightning in about 12 minutes, maybe 13 minutes left in the second period. So that put them up 1-0. We head to the third period where the remaining scoring would happen. Anthony Cirelli scored for Tampa Bay, so they weren't up 2-0, and that was about halfway through the third period. It was a pretty good, attack from him. It was a one-on-one, and he got around the defender. Really good play, sloppy defense from the Carolina Hurricanes. However, with a minute and a half left, Andrei Svechnikov made it a 2-1 game, so it did become interesting. However, Vasilevsky was able to kind of hold on and win the game. So 2-1 victory for the Lightning. I think this is going to be a good series as well. Now the next game was also obviously a one-goal decided game. In overtime, the Avalanche won at home against the Vegas Golden Knights, taking a 2-0 series lead. I mean, I'm pretty happy. Not a fan of the Knights whatsoever. So that made me happy. Brandon Saad got the first goal, 16 minutes and 21 seconds left in the first period. Pretty nice goal from him. It was a breakaway, and, it was kind of a weird shot, but it went in. So kind of through Fleury's legs, which doesn't happen much because Fleury is a very on-top-of-it goaltender. Alec Martinez, halfway through the first, however, tied the game up for Vegas. However, Tyson Yost scored for Colorado with 3 minutes left in the first, so already 3 goals in the first period, 2-1 Avalanche at this point in the game. Now, Fleury stayed pretty strong, and Riley Smith did tie up the game for Vegas, made it a 2-2 game. And Grubauer played pretty well as well. Obviously, he's a candidate for the Vezina, which is pretty impressive. But yeah, pretty good save for him. And in overtime, they kind of forced it to overtime. Mikko Rantanen, pretty much at the beginning of overtime, there was about 18 minutes left, scores on a pretty nice slap shot, and the crowd goes wild, and the Avalanche win. So they take that 2-0 series lead over the Vegas Golden Knights, and I'm not going to lie, I'm pretty happy about that. Now, the next game, also decided by one goal. It was the Montreal Canadiens, who are on a 5-game playoff win streak now, obviously coming back from a 3-1 lead, and now taking the first 2 games in Winnipeg. I mean, and they have fans at their arena. I think this, honestly, I don't know if it'll be a sweep against Winnipeg, but I'm saying Habs in 5. They take a 1-0 victory. Kind of a boring game in terms of offense. Only goal came in the second period for Montreal. Pretty good goaltending from Connor Hellebuyck and Carey Price, obviously. And the only goal came from Tyler Toffoli in the second on just a pretty clear breakaway. There was one defender back, and it was off a missed shot from Winnipeg. So kind of sloppy transition defense. I mean, he was just skating up the ice on his own. And nothing really going for Winnipeg. Their offense was sloppy, but their defense was all right. Well, I mean, I guess goaltending, not good defense on that play. Carey Price stayed strong, and 1-0, and it really carried through the whole time. There was not much offense. Both goalies, like I said, did pretty well. Carey Price obviously gets the shutout, which is really good for him. 30 saves, 30 attempts. Hellebuyck did good, like I said. I mean, pretty much a 96% save percentage is still pretty good, but, you lost the game, and it's a playoff game. So anyways, guys, let me know your thoughts. That's all game 2s in round 2 of the NHL playoffs. And, let me know your thoughts. And see you in the next one.